welcome to the Must Love Yarncast.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Or if you're new, welcome.
I mean, it's been a couple of weeks.
Two
Two weeks. I know, we're kind of on track right now.
We're right on schedule.
I think it's the Sunday recording, so it's Sunday again, because that seems to be the day that we're both available.
Yeah.
So I'm still right in the thick of baseball season. But anyway, so welcome. This is a Yarncast that we bring to you from our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont, where you can buy a lot of the things that we are going to talk about today, or we make, if we're using a yarn that we don't sell here, a lot of times we make suggestions about what you could use that we have. Challenges. John and I both have pretty extensive stashes, and every once in a while we like to dip into that and use some of what we have.
Yes.
So you can find the store out on social media as Must Love Yarn. Feel free to follow us out on Instagram, Facebook, join the Ravelry group, that's where we run most of our cows, and have some pretty active boards over there.
Yeah.
People popping in and posting things. So, and I'm Angela.
I'm John.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Jennifer_Arbuckle and on Ravelry as J Arbuckle.
Yep.
Can never quite remember which is
and
which.
Feel free to connect with us on those platforms, though, as I always say, that's my personal page, so you're going to see other stuff out there, not just knitting and fiber content, lots of other things. So
Northern Lights pictures.
Right? Or eclipse pictures, baseball pictures.
Buildings.
Just,
lots of buildings.
Other stuff.
Anyway. Flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you can take a peruse through the feed and get a flavor for what kind of stuff goes out there.
Right.
But
True knitting content is mostly on the store.
Yeah, definitely. So we like to start our Yarncast with what we call our Yarncast pick. And the way this works is we're going to show you a product that's available in store. And for 2 weeks following the posting or premiering of this Yarncast, you can get 10% off in online or in store with the code that we're going to give you.
So that would be till June 7th.
To June 7th. Yeah, this is going to take us into June. So May 24th to June 7th.
How is that possible?
Code will be active.
It was a quick month.
So we're kind of keeping with the last few weeks or so, few Yarncasts, we've been showing summer yarns and
summer is coming.
And
when it comes in Vermont,
it's going to be 80 today. So that's crazy for middle to late May.
In northern Vermont.
So another great summertime project is socks. They're super portable. You don't have giant
the sock people.
Fabric draped all over you. It's not super hot. And we have some really fun colors from one of our sock companies. So we thought we'd, I might actually buy it. This is I have no business buying self-striping sock yarn at all, but look at that.
I know.
Is that not
Look at them all. They're
funnest?
all fun. Yeah.
You've seen?
Watercolor series, so they're all watercolory.
So this is the Lang. It's called Twin Sock, but if you look on the website, it's going to come up under Super Sock.
I think if you just type in socks with 2 X's, you'll find it.
Or Lang. Either will bring it up, but we'll link in show notes. We have a whole dark-based series that is a part of this as well. We did not bring those over, but those are also fun and will be included in this coupon code. So any of the Lang Super Sock that come up would get 10% off. So this color is 458 if you're looking for it in the listing. This one's 460.
This is 360, 461, and 459.
Yeah.
So 75-25 base.
Yep.
Wool nylon, and it's 100 grams and
420 meters. So
it's
pretty good yardage.
Yeah.
450, 460 yards. Definitely enough to make most size socks for adults.
And there should be 2 identical color repeats in each one of these.
Yes.
It's set up that way on purpose.
Yes, the twin sock. Yep.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
super
did
fun.
want to
Look at this,
mention,
it's like lemon ice or something.
know.
It's just awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So Laura Nelkin has a pattern that she just recently updated. It's been out for a while. It's been in my favorites for a while, but she made some additions and updated the pattern. It's called Larch Ped, and it's a great little shorty sock pattern. Kind of mimics the low style socks of Darn Tough. So I love Darn Tough socks. They've got this great little tab in the back that sticks up so you don't get the back of your heel rubbing. So she sort of designed a short sock like that. She just recently added some ribbing along the foot and the arch. So also if you need, to squeeze in a little more around your arch, which I also really like.
Yeah.
The pattern is designed really for like self-striping yarn.
Yeah, so this is perfect.
Yeah, so this is perfect. I'll link to the Larch Ped pattern in show notes as well.
Just to be obvious, it is self-striping, so
Yes.
it will stripe the various colors, and you can sort of see these little blips. So there's going to be like little blips of color and squares and stripes.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I saw these today, I'm not a sock knitter. You all know how much I love to knit socks, which is not really. And but I was thinking,
So what
This
if we
could be
do
fun.
YP summer sock or YP socks with the two
With two
X's?
X's.
So let's do YP socks with the two X's as the coupon code. For 2 weeks, you can get 10% off. So I think this one's going home with me.
But there's more on the shelf, so conveniently there's more for you.
Because I don't need whatever. You know what?
It's a
Whatever.
rainbow. It's the rainbow
I
colors.
love the like neon-y kind of just
Yeah.
subtle with like the gray and
Did you
light
see
color.
Lemonade Shop had just dropped something? I just saw it last night. It's like a black and white, and then it has like a neon band of color in it.
No, I gotta go look at that.
Yeah. But first you should buy these from us, just in case.
Right. Right? Because it's not like I don't belong to Woolens and Nosh Sock Club and get a skein of self-striping sock yarn every month, which is just piling up because I can't knit socks fast enough, it seems.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to use it. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So, what are you wearing today?
Oh, Mira, I think it's called. I forget. There's several sweaters that I was looking at the same time. That Mira, I want to say. Let me just double check here. Somewhere in here, deep. I started to look it up before we got on here, and then I lost track of what I was doing because we were chit-chatting.
I know, about all the things.
Yes.
Yes,
There
if
it
you
is.
want to hear
Mira.
all the chit-chatting, stay to the end.
That's right. It's the Mira sweater by Elizabeth Smith, I want to say. It is Mira. I love this sweater. I wear it a lot. It's like this big drapey. It was a super fast summer knit. It's knit out of worsted weight cotton, actually. This is a cotton rayon blend. It's modern cotton by Barocco. It's just like the most versatile thing, and it's like a layer. It actually has a little bit of warmth to it, but it just is like, when you get dressed in the morning and you're not feeling like you need something clinging to your body, you want a little bit of drape over it.
Yeah.
This is the thing for you.
Yeah. And you could wear it over a t-shirt, you could wear it over a tank top, you could.
Yeah, I did make some changes to the pattern because, well, they're in my notes.
What?
Right? Well, I started knitting it the way it's a garter stitch pattern, and I decided that I wanted it to look a little bit more. I like the stockinette, so I did stockinette instead of garter stitch.
Yep.
But
which is totally allowed. Totally allowed.
And I have that in my notes, and I think some other people have done the same thing since then.
Awesome.
So,
and we link to these patterns and to our project pages when there are projects. So you can see our projects, but then you can also get to the actual pattern from our project pages. So for new folks, if you're not new, you knew that already.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I decided, because it's going to be 80 today, I pulled out Seltzer, which is a tank style top. It's made out of worsted weight. It's got the high neck. Does kind of the same look. I got a little sign yesterday. In the back, I sort of struggle with what to wear it with.
For undergarments. Undergarments are always the fun of a tank top, right? It's
I love the lines of
Yeah.
it, and I think, it's really kind of unique and cool, but I am always fiddling with this
yeah.
bit.
Even with a halter strap bra, I think you're probably
And
still
that's what I have on.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of wear a light colored one, so it just doesn't show that much.
Yeah.
So, but that's another great pattern. This is knit out of a wool based worsted weight yarn, but you could definitely use cotton or some other type of yarn with. It's got a nice little ribbing at the bottom, and it just kind of not quite a like half tank. You can knit it longer. This one goes down a little longer, so you don't feel like everything's all exposed. But, great option for today. Though you might see me doing this, I don't tend to wear a lot of like high neck. I wear more V-necks and like scoop necks. So when I get something up that's got, or like, I'm all like, okay.
I have the same issue. Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So the next section usually is us talking about finished objects. I have nothing this week.
Me neither.
Nothing.
Yes.
Zero.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, I will say. You'll hear more about it in the outtakes. But...
been a couple of really weird weeks.
Yeah, a lot of travel for me. I've been gone almost as much as I've been home. So
yeah, and I've kind of been all over the place. I think that if I had focused on maybe one project.
Well, that's the other thing, right? I have been like sort of skittering around doing various things. And as I discussed before or afterwards here in the outtakes, I couldn't get my stuff together, my brain together, really, more so.
Actually, was this one finished last time?
No.
It's on the whips list, so I guess I did finish something.
Of course you did.
Okay, so I take it back. I did finish something. This is the ponytail poof hat. This one I just closed in the top to make it an actual hat instead of having the opening for ponytail. So it looks small. It's not. It actually fits. Yeah. It's really stretchy. This is just some
pretty colors.
Lion brand that actually is sparkle yarn. So it'll just go in the bin for auction or gift or something, unless somebody over there sees it. Though it's not quite her color palette. She prefers more pink and purple. Which is what the other one was. So this is like an ombre skein of yarn that transitions colors. And so this is the second hat that was made. So I guess I did have an FO.
Look at you.
I know. Look at me. Ugh, didn't even remember finishing that one.
Thank God.
So let's put that up there. Wow. Okay. So...
and I could be so scattered that I might have finished something in the meantime and just not remember. I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Oh, thank God for show notes, right? Because I was like, wait, that was on the whip list last time. So what is even happening?
Right.
All right. So I guess I can give some updates as to where some of my other whips are currently.
3, I think, that I brought with me. Of course, there's like 23 back at the house, but 3 that were actively worked on. Yeah,
I have 1, 2, 3. I think I have 5 whips. I don't even know what's happening over here.
So we can alternate. You go first.
Okay, so I will just give a little update on what I refer to as my baseball socks. So this is like my travel project.
A pretty colorway.
Yeah, this is Peepers. This is the last month's colorway for the sock club for Woolens and Nosh. So
speaking of which, not to interrupt, when I came home at 1 o'clock in the morning or whenever that was on Thursday, Friday.
Peepers out and super loud.
No, but I had left my light on because I knew I was getting home really late.
Yeah.
And when I came up to the step, I have a screen door, and it's got the top screen goes behind the bottom screen, which is kind of different, but it makes a little ledge. And the little frogs like to sit up there.
Awesome.
I've seen them a number of times, but there was one there when I got there, and I was like, I really have to get inside the house.
Right.
So, but I very carefully opened it, and I've got luggage and like stuff everywhere, and the cat's like, "Oh, you're home, you're home, you're home."
So excited.
So anyway, the frog just hung on, and he was still there when I went to bed. So anyway, sorry.
Nice.
It made me think of the peepers,
totally.
'cause those colors.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of gray and brown, but still, those are spring.
Super fun spring colors. I'm doing a little bit of a taller shorty sock. I did decide to use the mini skein that came with it to knit the heel flap and turn the heel, and then I re-added in. So it's not quite the same looking as like an afterthought heel, but this style of heel fits my foot so much better, which is why I prefer it. But what it does is it kept the stripe sequence on the front of the sock and didn't break it apart. So I just finished the gusset decreases, so it's now just stockinette till I get to the toe, and I'll have to decide if I want to pull this green back in for the toe for this one. So this is the first sock. Travel sock is just I think I call it baseball sock. I had one that was called hockey sock. Like, it's just, as the seasons change for sports, I usually have a sock. I'm kind of known as the sock knitting lady at the sports. Everybody's like, sock? And I'm like, yep. And it's a project usually that I can just stand and knit and don't have to pay a lot of attention to. So it goes in my handy little, like, over the arm bag, and I can just stand there and work on it. It kind of lives in the car. Travels with me. So that's this sports season's travel project.
All right. We can do a quick update on the temperature blanket. 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, so we had just finished April. I'm behind for this month, but so far, as you can see, it's been warm. It's been warm here in Vermont.
Very warm.
So I'm almost a week behind, not quite, but I was trying to catch up last night. So, and it's hard not to be tempted to just do all the bright orangey colors because it was warm today. It was warm today, but there have been some chilly mornings and some other cold spots. So there'll be some other blue and green in there to come. And then when I looked at the thermometer and it said 94 when I left the house, which obviously was obviously like dead. It must be like right in the sun patch. I thought, oh, look, I can use. Oh, wow. And then I was like, no, you have to use real temperature, not like thermometer temperature when it's obviously wrong. So moving along, catching up because I was gone so much. That's why I'm behind. Nice. This is not a portable take it with you project.
So many skeins of yarn.
Yes.
And stuff. So
indeed.
Let's see, what else do we have going on over here? I'm gonna do the ones real quick that we've talked about before. So the Gnome news is good news. The little gnome that was released by Imagine Landscapes. This was the mystery gnome, but we are doing a cowl for this. So any of the gnome projects or patterns would work. You don't have to use the new one. And part of what got me intrigued by this was our good friend Michelle from Woolens and Nosh did a collaboration and did special yarn, dyed yarn. So I kitchenered this together. So we're kind of cruising on. Clue 3 is almost done.
Have you looked to see what he looks like?
I haven't yet.
I didn't do it on purpose, but I also didn't mind. So I have seen the finished one.
Okay.
So, do you know?
I think this might be the nose. This is I needed to find stuffing. If you stay around for the intakes, this is the thing that needs a little bit of
really,
stuffing.
honestly, you could have shoved an extra waist ends of yarn in there and called it good.
I know. The whole system's breaking down. So this is the end of Clue 3 when I get this finished, and then Clue 4 is picking up stitches on this and some other things. So Clue 4 and Clue 5, I'm almost done. I did look far enough ahead that, remember when I was like, oh, I've got these like little, these are feet. These are actually feet. Gnome feet. They're going on the bottom of the gnome. So this was from a couple.
It's allergy season.
Couple This
Yes.
was like clue 1, I think. I was like, I don't know what these are. Little gnome parts. So this has actually been fun. I've been wanting to knit one of her gnomes for a really long time. And the yarn was like the perfect motivation for me to just be like, oh, I'm going to get Michelle's yarn. And it's a mystery along, and I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, and actually,
so-
that's what I should have brought with me when I traveled. But
Yeah.
I was afraid there were too many fiddly things, and
There are some fiddly things. I think
I just couldn't get my head around what I needed to
pack
bring with me.
for it. The little fiber fill.
We all know how good I am at packing for things. Like, oh, I don't have any needles.
Right.
I don't have the next size needle.
Right.
Oh, I don't have whatever.
Right.
So to have a one needle project with me when I travel.
So this is still going. We're running the along through the middle of June. So there's plenty of time.
Mhm.
Like these guys are quick if you actually like just sit and do it. Like
A weekend.
Like
Could probably easily do it
could
in a
do
week.
it a weekend. It's
Yeah.
not a huge amount of knitting. It's
Yeah.
just like one, I had to wait for clues to be released, and then I got distracted with other stuff, and then I had this fiber fill issue because apparently I'm gonna create issues for myself now.
That's the joy. That is
So-
the nature of knitting in general,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah, and then I hadn't printed off the clues, and so
mhm.
it just like
Yeah.
then it was a thing. Like I was ready to start the next one, and then I didn't have like, and it's
Yeah.
just like
Mystery knit-alongs are fun. They are fun.
yes, they are fun.
I'm not very good at like
Keeping
getting
up with
ahead of the clues.
Mhm.
So by the time I get around to them, the clues have all been released. You know. So,
Well, which is sometimes good because then you get the condensed pattern that's got
yeah,
like everything together.
yeah,
So.
it would be easier, but
It's
yeah. So if we wait and do new cast-ons at the end, because I did cast on something new,
Okay.
but there's a reason, a very specific
Okay.
reason for it. So the thing I ended up taking with me was this shawl, and although it doesn't really look like it, I actually got quite a bit of work done.
Oh
on
no,
it,
you can tell like there's multiple new colors.
Yeah.
And,
I think I had not even introduced the blue before. I'm not quite sure.
the blue maybe just barely.
Yeah.
Or not. I think you
Yeah.
were like maybe like down in here. Like
Yeah.
in the first.
And so now there's green in there. It's hard to see because
That's
those two are
awesome.
really close together. But
It looks great.
yeah. So it's kind of so this is the 24 Birds Make Along, which is a Helen Stewart mystery knit along from the spring. And for those that are new, it is based on William Morris prints, and which I'm a big fan of, and birds, which I'm also interested in. So the description of the mystery knit along was appealing to me, and it's a pie shawl, which I've not done before. So you start at the middle and you knit a great big circle. So my friends that I was traveling with last weekend were like, "What are you doing?" And they were like, my one friend is learning to knit. In fact, I helped her finish her hat
Awesome.
when she was here a couple weeks ago, and she started a new one last weekend while we were together. But, and my other friend is like, I'm just always impressed that you knit with like such skinny yarn. Like the skinny fancy yarn. I was like, I guess, yes, that's a description for it.
Let's see if we can get that to come back on. Because it's just a little.
So speaking of, mistakes when you're tired or whatever. So this lace pattern is pretty nice in that there's a lace row and then there's a purl row, and then so you always have like a resting row in between, and which is handy because then for me, if I miss something, I can fix it on the row.
On the next row.
The next row. However, I'll be very curious when this is all spread out whether it'll be easy to see or not. I don't see that it's going to be a problem, but I have one whole row. This is the row where at the beginning of the row you're supposed to move the stitch marker one stitch over and then do the lace pattern.
Yeah.
So I got to the end. It was late at night, and I was like, I didn't do that. And
Yeah.
I started to pull it all back out again and redo it, and then I was like, there's 300 and something stitches on my needle. I don't really know if you can see it, so we'll see. It's one of those patterns where it may be very obvious because it was also the transition between I think it was the end of one section and the beginning of another one, so I actually feel like it won't be noticeable. I'm pretty sure I can't really tell where it is, so we'll see. But anyway, there's a few things, and there's definitely been some rows where I'm like, oh, these stitch counts are off, but I fixed it on the next one. So yeah, it's exciting. I think I'm somewhere in the middle of clue 2, so there's a lot of knitting left to go.
Yep.
And pretty soon we do another double up row, so it'll be suddenly 500 and something stitches.
Yeah, they get big fast.
Yeah.
Those
So
high shawls.
yeah.
So I have.
But I got sucked in. I was actually really enjoying, so that's why I took it with me, even though there's a lot of yarn to carry around.
Nice. I have a little.
Teapot?
Yeah, it's called "I'm a Little Teapot" hat. This is a project that somebody had asked me. They'd sent me a picture and they'd be like, "Could you make this?" And I kind of looked at it and I was like, I don't know. And so I went out to Ravelry and actually found, I think this is a free pattern. Otherwise I would have been like, I'm not going to buy that. It's called "I'm a Little Teapot." It's kind of like a gag hat for somebody.
Okay.
Which is fine.
It does not strike me as something you would want to wear.
No,
eventually.
it's not for me. It's not for me. But the hat part's done. So they wanted, the picture they sent me had like this little stripe at the top. So just added it in because it really is not that big of a deal. So the hat part's done. I need to do the spout and the handle, which I think will be quick knit. So this is just some Barocco Ultra Wool Chunky. And just the white was something I had hanging. I don't even know what it is. Something had hanging around the house. So just, I need to finish those, and then I probably won't have this again when we yarn cast next, because when I finish it, it's gonna go away. Go where it
take a
needs to
picture
be.
and so we can
Take
see
a picture. I don't have a project page up for it yet. I will by the time this airs, but hadn't created it. So just, one of those things where occasionally we do things like this because you assess the project as not being overly challenging, and why not? I may change my mind when I have to sew the spout and the handle on. That's sometimes something that I struggle with, getting it to look correct.
I think the bigger part will be like, how do you keep the...
You've put some fiber fill in it, so you stuff it a little bit. So we'll see how that goes.
No one likes a droopy T-spout.
Right. Droopy anything.
That's what I was thinking, but I thought I'll keep this at
keep it PG.
PC.
So I don't know. Might see some pictures of that when the spout gets attached.
I thought you were making a tea cozy, I have to admit, at first, when I saw the picture pop up.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose
wow.
you could
just
use
do it old
it
school.
for a tea cozy, but it's
I have knit some
technically a
before, in
hat.
fairness. I have a friend who's a big tea person, and I knit her one, and it had like flowers on it. It was fun to knit, actually. It was fiddly, but it was fun.
Yeah. So I think it's going. The person who asked me to make it is giving it to somebody else as like a thank you for. Anyway, it's this whole
it's a
thing.
thing.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a fun project. It's on big needles. It's bulky weight yarn. Like, so, yeah. I'm a Little Teapot. Check it out. If you've got, you can make it in kids by using worsted weight yarn. You can make it in kid sizes. So maybe there's
Halloween
a kid,
costume.
right, that wants to.
That's a nice bag. Did you make that?
I did not make this. This was one of my Mother's Day gifts.
Oh.
People in my house know that I like bags.
Yeah,
So,
beautiful. Pretty.
fun little bag,
Yeah.
which is where the teapot is living right now. Right now. So anyway, so I have that one.
So I did cast on another project last night. So the organization that I talk about a lot that I volunteer for, there are every year there's a tradition of the president. When the president leaves and a new one comes in, there's a little gag gift.
Okay.
Kind of
Do you need a
situation.
teapot hat?
Do not need a teapot hat, but the incoming president is a guy who lives in Michigan. So I thought, I don't know a ton about him, but I thought, I could just make him a hat. Like, that's easy.
Oh, yeah.
He lives in a
There you
winter
go.
climate. It's perfect. So I am using also a chunky yarn, Hayfield Spirit, which is an 80-20, I want to say, acrylic wool blend. We sell a ton of this in the store because it comes in really great colors.
Yep.
And we have it in chunky and DK weight.
Okay.
It does have a funny vinegary kind of smell to it, but an 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So I was looking for a quick hat to make, but one that had some pattern to it and was interesting. And so I found this pattern called the Hill Country Hat by Clara Parks, which is this hat. And come on, where's the side? You can see. So there's some. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It came from her, The Knitter's Book of Wool, which I probably actually have in the house somewhere. But
I have that.
yes, I'm sure I haven't. So the interesting thing about it, one of the reasons I picked it was because I've been thinking about this lately that, we always do hats from the bottom up instead of doing them from the top down. And so this one you cast on at the top and you knit down. Which I thought was good because you can sort of experiment with how long it needs to be.
Yep.
You can figure out how big around you want it to be because you just do as many increases as it takes to get to the circumference. There's some comments in there. So anyway, I just cast this on last night and spent like half an hour on it, so it's already starting to take shape. So it'll be fast, and I need that done by the middle of June, or the second week of June. So.
Yeah. You should be able to make it.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I might focus on that in the next week or so, just so that it's done and I don't have to think about it or worry about it. So anyway, that's my last whip for today.
Awesome.
I'm hoping, of course, I just pulled the yarn. I'm hoping to get to these colors because I think these will be nicer. Hopefully it doesn't pause only in the dark colors, but we'll see.
So is everybody ready for my final whip that I'm sharing today?
I see something hanging out of a bag. So
that actually I don't know that I'm gonna talk about that one. Oh, I have two. Then I cast on another emotional sport chicken. So that's how far we've gotten, and then back in the bag it went. So
I think the tail feathers are the worst part, actually. So,
but I have another. Are we ready? Okay.
There's a lot in there. Maybe you knit more than I would have thought possible.
No, just all the yarns in there.
No, all right.
So I did it.
Oh, it's funny. I thought it was green.
I
obviously did not remember what color.
I did it.
It's beautiful.
I cast
Look how pretty
on
that
the
is.
3 Seasons cardigan, guys. So this is the back.
It's pretty.
It's a little.
I didn't remember that it was cabled. Obviously, I remember nothing about this project.
It's cabled.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All kinds of cables, as you can see. Multiple cable panels.
Yeah.
Here. This little one right here, can't remember which side it was that I had to rip out because I...
Just a little tiny one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to not have that scrape on the table. So in one of these cable sections here, I can't remember which side it was on, and if you can't see it on the screen, that means I did a good job. I had to rip it back for about 8 rows because I had pulled the yarn in the wrong direction on multiple rows, and it was really obvious.
Yeah, I would imagine that would shed.
Yeah,
you would think,
this
it's skinny,
is a very
but,
consistent cable that's happening every other row in these sections.
Yeah.
And so I had to rip it back, re-knit that section, getting the cable going in the right direction, and now we're back in business. So
that's beautiful.
Thank you. This requires a lot of attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot going on here. And it continues on to the front as well. So this is
it's an heirloom pattern.
A little bit. It's really fun. Every once in a while, it's really nice to do a pattern like this that challenges you and makes you focus and think. So
stitch markers are your friend.
As you can see, I usually don't use stitch markers.
I love stitch markers. I put them everywhere.
But this one... I need just because it makes sure that I'm reading the right section of the pattern.
And also, if you're trying to count back or forward, it's
it's just so much easier. So mine's divided by cable section or section here because some aren't cable. These are lace panels. And this is almost like a weird, like something.
Trellis
kind of pattern. Anyway, not weird. Very beautiful.
And that yarn really is beautiful in that. Oh my God. Yeah.
It did. And this is, one of these patterns where I'm using the yarn the pattern calls for. So it's the Katia concept. So it's a merino merino.
It's so funny. In
cotton.
my brain, I was sure that was like the green color.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I
this
thought
the
that.
purple. I think this was the only one that we had in stock at the time that
Mm.
had a sweater's quantity because I needed like 9 balls of it.
Mhm.
They're 50 gram skeins.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really have anything that color. So I'm almost done with ball number 1. And been just working on it. Lots of impediments to starting this project. First off, I lost the yarn. How do you lose 9 skeins
This
of
has
yarn?
been, what, a year and a half in the making?
Yeah, something
like that.
ridiculous. Then it's provisional cast on for multiple sections, as you can see.
Yeah.
All 3 of these sections are provisionally cast on.
Oh, but later on, that'll be easy.
So nice.
It'll be good.
And then I didn't bring the pattern with me, but this is like a full page landscape chart that you're having to like read up as you go. So it's
Are you using Knit Companion or are you
no, I'm just using highlighter tape.
highlighter tape? Yeah.
Yeah, Knit
That's my
Companion's fine, and I've used it before, but I also generally, when I'm sitting and knitting, like to watch stuff on my iPad, so I kind of can't use it for both.
Yeah. I don't use it, but I know you've used it before, and I thought maybe you were using it, but yeah.
This would be a perfect pattern to be using Knit Companion on.
Yeah.
If I did not use my iPad for also watching things in the evening, I would do that, but I'm old school, printed paper, highlighter tape.
I'm a fan of printed paper, so
yeah,
I'm a weirdo. Yeah.
Which is interesting because I have to have the key. The key page is like there because I need to know which cable I'm doing. Anyway,
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing.
And the chart.
And the chart is huge.
Is it printed at a good size though? 'Cause
it's okay.
Sometimes I just print them in a larger scale because I just can't stand trying to read this tiny little.
It's okay. It's decent enough that I can still read it without reading glasses.
Yeah.
If it was too much smaller,
yeah,
I'd have some challenges. But anyway, so 3 Seasons cardigan has been started, guys.
And it's going to be beautiful. I mean, it's already beautiful.
Yeah,
so.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
But I can't be really tired.
Yeah.
Because clearly I was really tired at one point, which is why those cables got going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I was far enough along that it shouldn't have happened because I can read the cables to know.
It doesn't matter.
But it didn't matter.
No.
So it got fixed.
Yeah.
Twice. Started the wrong row. So there we go. And it's in this bun. This is another bag that I got. Also, this was a Mother's Day gift like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. This one's like water resistant.
Yeah.
And it's got the little like sock monkey guys on the inside. So, but also it's a great project bag for things like sweaters because you can cinch it up. It's waterproof. This opens up. It sits nice.
Yeah.
You can I've got 9 balls of yarn in there and a project. Not the pattern though, because the pattern's at home. Because the pattern's also gigantic.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I did it.
Hallelujah.
I cast it on finally.
Yeah.
And have already had a thing. So, there you go.
Yeah. Smooth sailing from here.
I hope so.
I'm sure it will be.
But yeah, I am really pleased.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is the upside to using the yarn that the pattern calls for, is that if you like the look of what's in that pattern,
it gives it because that yarn is done the way it is and it has those sort of undertones. It gives it kind of a vintage look, which I think is really beautiful.
And that's what drew me to the pattern in the first place.
It really highlights the cables and pulls their attention to them. So so we have more of that yarn in stock in multiple colors. It's a really nice yarn. It's been really popular. It's
very nice to work with. So anyway,
and it's a cotton wool blend, right?
Cotton wool blend.
Yep.
So hence the 3 Seasons. Here you could probably wear it most of the summer too.
Just gonna say, I wear wool in the
seasons.
summertime. So
So anyway, that's where I'm at, and I'm sure by the time we come back, I'll have cast on other things because why not?
Right.
Or have the chicken completed, or whatever. So
small stuff.
Or the gnome. Really? Like, what was that?
I don't know. A
Lights
car
just
drove
came
by.
on. I don't know. So weird.
Our light sensors are wackadoodle.
They are wacky.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually did it. I can move the 3 Seasons cardigan that's been in the casting on list forever up to the Whipses list.
Yes. And all those simmering projects are mine, so I should probably
There's
take
like a
look at
couple
those.
that are mine. Like the autumn wheat bauble that's still, I'm gonna do it. I refuse to be defeated by a crochet project.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these Whipses might get moved to the submarine pile for me if I get distracted with some other things. So
Yeah.
it's totally possible.
I would like to get some stuff done, though. Some of the stuff that's been sort of
Right?
going along there.
So we pulled over some yarn
Oh,
to
there's
show
just a little,
and a cute little
yeah,
pattern.
someone ends not woven in, but look how cute that is.
So cute. Little
So this
poncho.
is the Knitting Pure and Simple Children's poncho. I found it on the counter when I came in today, so I thought, why not? We'll just show it to you guys. And it, I am pretty sure, is using the Coastal Cotton Coral Reef. So it's just nice to see what the yarn looks like and then how it knits up. So a little bit of fun pooling. Just kind of fun, actually, how that works.
Yeah.
Pooling on that. But it's mostly stripy. Super fun for kids. So
And this pattern, what size this doesn't have up to, because that's with the kids sometimes. Oh, it goes up to a 10-12. So it's a 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10-12.
their patterns are usually really good about having multiples.
Yep. So you could make it with a hood, with a fringe, or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, just a little throw over for
Yep.
someone. And then just to give you a reminder, we have a ton of colors. We have a lot of
so
solid
many.
colors. We have some speckledy
many
colors. But this Coral Reef line is a little bit stripier and less truly randomly variegated.
Right.
And it comes in
Look
some
at all
really
those
great
fun.
summertime
So
colors.
fun.
It just looks like summer in a basket.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's fun. So anyway, we thought we would show that to you and whet your appetite. The price point on this yarn is really great, and it's
Super affordable.
Yeah.
Really nice quality. Like, it's nice to work with. It's
Yeah.
a nice yarn.
100 grams, 185 yards, 100% cotton. And this color, for what it's worth, is 5001 Maori Rasse, WRASSE. So it does Queensland United yarn, which is from, it's not Queensland United. I don't know why I do that every single time.
know.
Queensland Collection, based in Australia. So there's some fun references to Australian thingamabobbers. So anyway, fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
So we've got a few cows that are running. So we've got the year-long temperature blanket craft along. So
1 month at a
it's-
time.
Yeah, it's not too late to join that if you want it. That'll run till the end of the year. We've got our winter thaw top along,
Oh, right. I forgot about
which
that.
is going through the end of May. And I've been threatening to start this 3 Seasons cardigan since it started in February, and just I'm doing it now. So clearly won't get done, but other people have. It can be just a few rolls for that along. It can be knit or crochet. The yarn that you're using has to have some cotton content. Doesn't have to have a lot. Could be a little tiny bit. Just any cotton content. And it's got to be a top of some sort. So
Top of your body.
yes, top of your body. It could be a tank, a tee, a cardigan, pullover, festival top, something.
But not a wrap or a throw or a scarf.
Nope. Nope. Top of some sort.
Clarifying.
Whips
and
were
not a hat.
whips are allowed. I know at least a couple of people use that as motivation to finish something that had been languishing for them. So that's always, we enjoy seeing that. People
I probably do
getting
have
their
5 or
stuff.
6 things that would qualify.
Right? Probably. We also have the Gnome along. So that's running to the middle of June, as you mentioned a little earlier. So basically, this is, you just have to use an Imagine Landscapes gnome pattern. Could be any of them. It doesn't have to be the new one that was a part of the cow. So you could use a whip. So if you have one you started and again just needed some motivation to finish it. But really sort of, again, low key, make some gnomes. As she also released these cute little like toadstool patterns.
Oh,
so,
yes, they were so cute.
adorable. Those don't count for the along, but still really cool. So she's got lots of fun patterns. We also have our Craft in Public along, which we kind of talked about at the end of the last yarn cast and worked out some stuff, and I added a few details when I opened up threads on Ravelry. So here's what we're going to do. So it's already running. It's going to run through June 15th, so the middle of June. Basically, there's 2 different places you can post to be entered. You can post a picture in the Ravelry thread or Instagram. And really the rule is to show you crafting in public. That's the idea. Is like where
in
this
your
is
backyard,
to promote.
On a train, on a bus.
This is to promote crafting in public and kind of tying it in with Worldwide Knit in Public Day.
On your lunch break.
So your post should include what your project is and where you are. I also will probably pull a prize, I will pull a prize for the most entertaining post. I know you all have it in you to do some entertaining stuff. Entertain me, please. If you're posting on Instagram, please, you need to tag the store. So tag at Muscle of Yarn and use the hashtag MLY Craft in Public 2024. So that's how we're going to track these posts on Instagram. We'll give you an extra entry for posts that are done on Worldwide Knit in Public Day, which is June 8th. And so this is not a finished object kind of cal or contest. This is a like social media, like
share the love of craft with the public.
Right. So it doesn't have to be knitting. It could be crocheting. It could be needlepoint. It could be...
Drag your wheel right out into the town square and do a little spinning.
That's why we're calling it Craft in Public along. I mean, you could make a pom-pom in public and that would count. That's a craft. You could be painting. Like, it doesn't have to be fiber related, I don't think. Craft along.
Yeah.
So you can sell it to me that it's a craft and you're doing it in public. Knock yourself out.
Right.
Do it. It would be fun. I've posted at least once to that hashtag if I use the right hashtag. Because even though I created it, like when I get out in the wild, I'm like, what's that hashtag again? I put it on the bottom of the screen. Go to Instagram. Follow that hashtag.
We'll do some posting on Instagram this week too.
About it.
To remind people.
So have some fun. Get creative. Like, let's bring it out to the masses.
That's right. Share your love of craft.
Share your love of craft. Yeah. I like
and come
Jen.
knit with us or crochet or whatever. Come join us on June 8th.
Yeah.
We'll do something here.
Well, and sometimes it's just we're out in the grass, like hanging out, knitting, waving at cars on Route 7 as I drive by.
That's right.
So come
more
see what's going on
this week or in the next.
It's coming up. But you're going to have lots of opportunities, right?
Yes.
Memorial Day is this next weekend.
That's
I know I'm going to be at a parade probably because they have it in Virginia. So plan accordingly. Good opportunities for public crafting.
Yes.
So
it's a nice way to meet strangers.
It is. It is.
People are always curious.
They are curious, or they're also crafters and they see you doing it and they come ask you questions and you can make connections that way too.
Right.
I've been surprised the number of folks that want to chat or that are also, but maybe they're nervous to do whatever in public. So anyway, it's just a way you can do it too.
That's right.
You can do it too. So that's what we've got going on currently for alongs. I think we had talked briefly about bringing some sort of like summer project along, like summer travel project along. We're still working out the details to that. So I think
obviously, given our discussion so far on this Yarncast about our own inability to manage our travel project.
Right. I don't even know what's happening.
We have some helpful hints for people.
I think look for us to be getting that one started around the beginning of June. So it'll probably run like June 1st to September-ish time
next
frame.
Yarncast maybe we'll
worked
out.
We'll have that sorted out by the next time. So, but we got some other fun ones going on and ways for people to continue to participate and doesn't require you to finish object. We're trying to think of some new things to do. They're
Right.
fun.
That's right.
Fun.
I spent a good chunk of yesterday doing some final touches on pulling together the Great Northern Yarn Haul organizational bits and pieces behind the scenes. So we posted on Facebook this week about it. So those of you that follow those tags, you'll see that there. The dates are July 5th through August 4th. And for those that aren't familiar, Great Northern Yarn Haul is a collection of 20 to 30 stores and farms across the 3 northern New England states, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And the goal is to get people to take a little road trip, and so we should tie that into our travel along. We've got extra points for those that are on the Yarn Haul, maybe.
Yeah.
And get people to visit all the stores. So I think we have 22 stores this year and farms.
Cool.
A little bit less than some years in the past, but I think that's a good number. It's probably a little bit easier, actually. And we extended the dates a little bit, so it's a little bit longer than it was before. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on the Facebook page. There'll be more stuff coming. A lot of the stores do special events, or make sure that people are aware of what's happening at their stores during the travel period.
Nice.
So more to come.
Nice. I think we're planning a pop-up for July 6th. So we're working out the details for that. I know we're going to have a bag maker here that's new to the store, new to us. Her stuff is gorgeous. She does a lot of upcycled type of stuff. So taking fabrics from other things and repurposing them into bags. And then we'll probably have some yarn pop-ups as well. So still kind of working out the details of those. But just there'll be some things happening in the store during that time.
And of course, anyone who's traveling is more than welcome to come to any of our knit groups, and because those happen on Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoons. So
absolutely.
Craft groups, I should say, fiber gatherings. I forget what we actually call them, but yeah. So stuff is coming. Summer is coming. Ready or not.
Right. Whether you want it to be or not. Here it comes.
It's true. It's so funny how, I don't know, I guess it feels busier, even though it's probably not really. I guess I'm pretty busy all year round, but it just feels busier.
Yeah. I think it's because there's more options, and the weather's nice and you want to be outside, and so it changes the types of things that you're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just took the time, so we should probably think about wrapping up. Because we do this ahead of the store opening on Sundays.
Yes.
So we have to be mindful of where we are within that window.
Yeah.
So, but as always, thank you for coming and spending some time with us. We know there's a lot of options out there and a lot of places where you can consume knitting and yarn related content. So we appreciate all of you who choose to come spend some time with us. So thank you.
And we're always happy to say hello out in the wild.
Yes. Or, love
here behind the
folks
counter.
commenting, chiming in, all the things.
Yeah. So. Today is UVM graduation day, so
it is.
Busy around here this weekend.
Yes. Lots of folks out and about.
Yes,
lots of extra traffic.
Lots of pre-commencement excitement, and then
and also lots of proms and other things happening. So lots of things going on.
Yeah, this is the weekend. If you're not involved in any of that,
that you're
hunker
like,
down.
Why are there so many cars on the road?
Yeah, I was supposed to go out to dinner with my parents this weekend. I was like,
probably not.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
because
there's
no restaurant reservations available.
No. And I think Middlebury College is also graduating this weekend, so in the other direction. And so it's like,
there's nowhere to be.
Just hunker down.
Yeah. Get some crafting done.
Exactly.
Or come hang out with us. It'll be nice and peaceful here this afternoon.
It should be.
Right.
I think so. So anyway,
I think that's
thank you again, everybody. And we will see all of you soon. I think we will check our calendars, but I'm probably pretty good for 2 weeks from now, I suspect. Either Sunday or back to our normal Monday-ish, because I think my schedule is going to become more flexible once we hit June. So that's for us to figure out, which we will probably at the last minute, because that's how we roll.
And you won't, hopefully you won't even know,
Right.
because it'll just appear
It'll
on
just
June
appear.
7th like it would normally.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
stay tuned, because the excitement of knowing where we're going to be at what time is probably going to be hard for you to manage for the next 2 weeks.
right, I can barely manage.
Oh dear.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we will see all of you soon. Happy crafting. Looking forward to seeing all of these posts for the Craft in Public along. I cannot wait to see what people are going to do. Pretty excited about it. So
Yeah, should be fun.
Make me laugh. Have some fun.
Yeah,
Have fun.
absolutely.
That's the goal here. And I'm going to dig into some deep stash and find some really good stuff for prizes. So
Yeah.
do it. You want to. So anyway,
All right.
till next time.
We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye. Better? A little bit. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's how I'm feeling today anyways. So.
Yeah. I think maybe the table is, it's because the table edge isn't straight with the bottom of the iPad that you're feeling that.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah.
We're both on the screen.
Yeah.
Heads are cut off. We're here. I do need to look up what I'm wearing because I can't remember
Well,
what it's
I
called.
do. I just need to sign in. I thought I was signed in, so let's just do that quickly.
Yay! Fun times. So I guess summer has decided to show up here.
I know the temperature blanket has taken a turn.
It's supposed to be like 80 today.
Well, when I left the house, I glanced at my thermometer and it said 94, so clearly it's in the sun.
Yeah.
I had gone for a walk and I was like, it's not 94. And I got in the car and it was like, it's 70 out.
Yeah.
Which is
70,
certainly
but,
fine.
but it's also like 10 o'clock in the morning, so
That's
it's just
right.
going to get hotter this afternoon.
Yeah, this whole week is supposed to be crazy.
Right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, I suppose that's one way to
Well,
view it. But
are we live yet?
yeah, it's on.
we are.
The thing's on. Yeah. It's people seem to enjoy this part of us
Yes.
just sitting here
Yes.
doing the things.
Yeah. Right.
So anyway,
Yeah, compared to last weekend when I was in Maine opening a cottage that has no heat.
right.
And it was in the low 40s every night that we were there. So you're nice and warm in bed, but getting
Right.
out of bed is, you have to be really motivated in the morning
Yeah.
because it's cold. It was 40 something in the cabin.
But you were
got
over there. Did you get to see the
Oh my God, the Northern Lights.
Lights?
Oh my, I have pictures. I mean,
Oh,
it's-
that's amazing.
it's insane.
I missed it the Friday night because I was just
Well, if you didn't
was-
know to use your camera, like you would.
well, there was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I was really tired. I'd had a really long day, and I didn't
show
go
you.
outside. Like I was just like, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
Thinking that we'd be able to see them again Saturday night, and then we couldn't really. We
Hmm. Well,
went
I will
out
tell
2
you-
or 3 times Saturday night and couldn't see.
Well,
the
honestly,
camera.
so I had kind of a very weird trip where I left on Wednesday, went to Natick, Massachusetts, Wednesday night, had a thing on Thursday, then I drove on to Providence for a client meeting that night, and then I drove to Portland from there.
Yeah.
So I got there at like whatever time Thursday night, and then my friend came up and we went out to the island on Friday. So we were there Friday night and Saturday night, and she actually stayed and left on Monday, but I left on Sunday. So Friday night, another friend of ours was coming in on the late ferry, so we went down together at 10 o'clock. Looking at the sky, you're like,
what? is
well,
going-
also I had seen something and it made me think that it was mostly in Vermont,
yeah,
not like
all
elsewhere.
over the world.
Right. So I looked at the sky and I was like, oh, there's like some streaks, but there's nothing major.
Right.
So the people getting off the ferry behind her were like looking at the sky. They were behind us as we were sort of walking back to the parking lot, and they were like taking pictures and they were like, oh, it's so cool. And we were like, what are you drunk? Like,
Right.
What
It's
do you-
one of those things
what
where
do you
like
like?
your
I mean, there's
camera picks
nothing.
up on it, but your eye cannot. Yeah, that's crazy. That is so cool.
I mean, the pictures that we stood outdoors for like
Yeah.
half an hour just
So
taking
crazy.
pictures,
But-
and
but-
you could not see this.
That's so
And so you would hold your camera up and you would hit the button and it would do this sort of countdowny kind
Yeah.
of thing. And then suddenly it was like magic every time.
That's
I mean,
so
the
wild.
pictures and the colors are just
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I have like 30 pictures. I mean, they're just crazy.
Yeah.
And the moon was out. It was like a big crescent, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't really. There's some pictures because we were down near the water. There's some pictures where you can see, but you can't. The moon is just a splotch, like it always is.
Right.
It's so annoying, the moon pictures, because you see this amazing moon, and you're like, oh, I'm going to take a picture.
And then you
Like,
can't get it.
I don't understand it. Like, it won't take a picture of the moon, and then it takes a picture of like magic that you can't see. Right?
So weird.
We spent a lot of the weekend discussing this because it was very odd. And then,
I mean, I've enjoyed everybody's pictures, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad I missed it. I mean, I've seen it before.
I
It's
feel like
been
I
down
just didn't know. I've probably seen
here
them. Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of times when I've been able to see it with my eye when we've
There's
been
like some
out driving at night.
green
So
glow or
yeah,
something,
Yeah.
like along the horizon or something. But now I feel like every time they've said, "Oh, the northern lights are going to be out there
You
tonight,"
have to go out with your camera.
that I
and be
didn't
like,
know.
oh,
You
yeah.
had to go take a picture in order to see them. But I mean, we have some just crazy. Like every picture is better than the next. I mean, they're just gorgeous pictures. And it of course helped that we were near the water and trees and whatever, because the trees outlined it anyway. So
Yeah.
And Saturday night we tried again, but it was not. It was, the sky was kind of blue and green when you took a picture. It still looked like nothing, but
Yeah.
but it was. I'm so glad those people were behind us on the
Right,
ferry,
'cause you
because
would have
otherwise
never-
And then the next day, everyone's like, "Oh, you have to take a picture," all over the world. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
good to know. Now I know.
Yeah.
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 But that was very cool. Yeah. And we had really, in fairness, we had good weather. It had been predicted to be like cold and rainy and damp, and it did not rain. So we had bright blue sky, but it was cold.
It was cold.
It doesn't feel cold necessarily until you're sleeping in it, I find. And you can't actually you just can't get warm until you're outdoors in the sun the next day for a few minutes. And even then there was a breeze and it was chilly. So I was, I'm always happy to be there, and I'm always sad to leave, but I was excited to get back in the car and turn the heat on and come home to my house that was warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it was good to see them. Yeah, and then I got back on a plane on Tuesday and flew to Cleveland. I was there till Thursday night, midnight. Got home at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where were you this week? Just all over.
I had made 2 trips to St. Johnsbury for court stuff, which is a 2-hour drive each way.
Yeah.
Through construction. Because it's construction season has started here. So that was fun. The sports stuff is just like crazy right now. Yeah. Everybody going all over the place.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a sick dog this past week. Like it's just like really like all of the things.
I know.
She spent the night at Bev's, which is the emergency bed.
Yeah. She
place.
okay?
They thought she had an intestinal blockage.
No. Yeah.
And like x-rays and like multiple doctors looked at it and apparently it wasn't. So I don't even know, but at least like
she's back on track.
She's back on track. She spent the night with IV fluids and that seemed to clear out whatever. She had some gastrointestinal something that was more than just like the normal.
Yeah.
I threw up a little bit. Like it was.
My cat has been trying to eat the plants this week, which I kind of think he's just mad at me. But it always makes you nervous because you're like, like, why are you chewing on the plants?
Yeah.
You haven't done that ever.
Yeah, so. But like what's weird is like our local vet took an x-ray. Vet looked at it. Radiologist looked at it. Like they were like intestinal blockage and we were like,
yeah,
what?
Right. Yeah.
So she went to Bev's. Like one of the treatments first is to put them on IV fluids because sometimes that will flush whatever it is without surgery. So that apparently worked. Yeah. So there was nothing, like it was.
Who knows? Yeah.
Metabolically, I don't know because when they ultrasounded her the next day, she was totally clear. Yeah. So they were like, we don't know.
That was all free.
Right. And we were like, did you just take all of our money for nothing? Like, but I guess she probably needed the IV fluids, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to tell and you don't want them to be distressed.
Well, so and intestinal blockages, like you don't really want to mess with that.
Right.
That's like, that goes from like, they're fine to like, they're dead in like 2 or 3 days. So it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did have like a couple of days where I had what I would classify as a normal dog who was just, you know, kind of mellow and,
Yeah.
you know, not doing too much. And I was like, wow, this is really nice. And so, but now my actual dog is back. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But, you know, clearly knew she wasn't feeling well because I was like, that's not really how you act.
Right. Yeah.
You're way too calm right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, there's been lots of that. Like, I mean, last weekend was Mother's Day and
Yeah.
my family took me to a nice brunch at Tortorelle, which is a
Lovely.
very nice, lovely French restaurant where we live. Super fancy. It was nice.
Yeah.
That
Sounds nice.
And then we just kind of hung out. Didn't do too much.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Yeah.
With that. It's been lots of running around.
Yeah. This week is, I mean, the trip to Cleveland didn't help, but I mean, it was a relatively easy trip, all things considered. Although, once again, you know, I forget now, we got on the plane in Burlington, and I'm trying to remember. We sat there for a long time because there was a ground stop in D.C. The only good news about the ground stop, of course, is that not only could we not take off, but all the other planes that were coming in, no one was going anywhere. Right. So in theory, if you're trying to make a connection, you know, you're going to be okay. And I looked and I could see that our plane that was picking us up to go to Cleveland and our connection hadn't even left from North Carolina yet. So I wasn't too worried about it, but it's another one of that I feel like every time I get on one of those planes, it's like, okay, what can we do for an hour to screw you over? Just, yeah. And once again, coming home, we paused for a minute to wait for people that were coming on a late flight with a connection, and having gotten through an episode myself 2 weeks ago where they refused to wait for me, even though I was landing at a gate 2 gates away from where I needed to be. I was just like, really? Like,
we're going to wait this time, but not the last time?
Right. We waited for luggage on the way back last time, and now we're waiting for actual people. So I know you do it. Like, why did you not?
Right.
Anyway.
So William and I took a cooking class last night.
Oh, that's fun.
There's a personal chef that I know that will do like in-home dinner party cooking classes.
Yeah.
And so another friend of mine was like hosting it. So we went to that. It was super fun. Like, you know, just like it's a communal like event. We were making like Indian food, and so I will say like the one downside to like being in someone else's kitchen, using someone else's equipment, is that like stuff like this happens. Which, yeah, that's, you can see that. Yeah, that's a grease burn. Because was heating oil in a pan using a silicone spatula, and I don't have wiggly tipped silicone spatulas, and so I whipped it around the pan, and the spatula tip bent down and then flipped up and just flicked oil out of the pan all over my arm. So so fun times. Hi there, do you have some stuff you want to share? No,
I want to see. Can I see?
Do you
want to? Do you
want to?
Awesome.
You want to bring it around so people can see? Come on.
There's not anyone actually there. It's just a camera.
They'll see it later. So, have you been working on some craft stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been working on?
I don't know.
You don't know? Have you been working on some stitching? Yeah. You want to show people your stitching? Oh, you're gonna let me show people your stitching?
Look at that. That's awesome.
Is that fun?
Yeah.
No.
Is it fun for you? Do you like doing it? I used to love doing that when I was your age.
Yeah.
What happened to that one? Did I get marker on it?
I don't know.
No.
I think so.
It'll come out.
You
can block that out.
Do you want to point out where Mom did the stitching and it's crooked?
Yeah.
To show you how to start? Yeah.
You have to come over here.
Yeah, they can't see it.
Or you can put it right up there in front of the camera.
I just need to find it.
See, now you can't find it. Yeah.
I found it.
The bottom of the ice cream cone. Yeah. So this is our new.
That's fun.
Our new craft that she's asked if I want to do some hand stitching, and I was like, okay. So I found this little kit on I guess Amazon or something for embroidery kit for
Yeah.
kids. And so she sat and did that whole ice cream cone in like one session. Just like showed her, just like, here's how you do this one stitch. And she was like, I got it. And she just ran with it. I was like, okay,
That's awesome.
you don't need me.
Yeah, I don't think I was about her. I did cross stitch, like the old fashioned samplers.
Yeah.
And I lived in southern Vermont, and so and we went to like, I don't know, Sturbridge Village and Williamsburg and all those kind of places. And so I found them not too long ago. I had like 5 or 6 that I had done of all these, like, of a water wheel and like they were all building related schoolhouse.
Yeah.
And so I was, yeah.
Yep.
I enjoyed doing those. Every now and then, and I was actually, lately I've been kind of obsessed with the embroidery visible repair people on Instagram. So I keep watching these little videos. Somehow they popped up. Every now and then I accept something into my feed that found its own way there. And I have been enjoying watching them do that. And thinking, oh.
There was a couple, like, when I was looking for her stuff, like little sampler things that I was like, oh, that's pretty. And I was like, really? You don't need another. But I was like, it's also portable, like knitting, and you put it in like a little bag, and if you felt the urge to just, why not? So I might. It was a cute little like landscape kind of thing. So I don't know.
It's all craft.
That's right. It's all just keeping your hands busy. So
and making things that look nice. Yeah. And I like handmade art almost better than prints of things or whatever. So
you could do like a whole series and like frame them and hang them up. It would be kind of cool.
Or they're good gifts for people too.
That's true.
Possibly. Yeah.
So maybe I'll revisit that. Anyway, so that was I helped her do that last weekend. So
yeah, it's you would think that with all that travel and everything, I would have lots of knitting, but as you have already seen, I do not.
I
it was kind of a weird. Most of I didn't have a lot of portable projects.
Yeah,
and I couldn't organize the Gnome in time to bring that with me.
Yeah,
so
the Gnome.
I haven't even started yet.
I worked on a little bit, and then I thought I had a little bag of fiberfill upstairs, and I didn't, and I'm still convinced that it's up there, but I haven't looked for it yet. Like, so it's just like silly stuff that's just
the whip that just sits there because you need one tiny thing, which you have somewhere in your house.
Well, and I know where it is downstairs. Like, it would take me 30 seconds to walk downstairs into the basement and pull some fiberfill out, but I can't be bothered. So, so we're a little stalled out, but I've almost done with clue 3. And then I was looking at clue 4 and 5. So I need to just.
I thought to myself, I needed to like. I know where all the yarn is, but I needed to. And it's wound. I just needed to. And I thought, well, that's a good thing for me to bring with me. And then I felt like there were all these little fussy things I might need with me to do it, and I couldn't get around to it. And then one of the projects, anyway, I just it was a weird.
Same.
I was not in the right frame of mind to bring travel knitting, so I did bring knitting with me to both locations, but I didn't do as much as I would have thought I would have.
Yeah. I need to. I need to.
I was exhausted.
Sort of circle the wagons a little bit and like pull some true travel projects or mindless projects.
Yeah.
I have a couple more requires brain power projects that are going as well. Yeah. So I need like that balance, and I just.
Yeah, I can. And then, I got home and I was tired.
That's the other thing.
So Friday night I was pretending I was going to knit, but I got home in the evening and I was too tired to knit actually.
Well, and then I can show it when we get in, but you will have already heard that I cast on 3 Seasons cardigan.
Yay!
And then I had also messed up one of the cable panels. So I had pulled down that particular cable panel to fix it. And then I started with the wrong row, and I got like partway up, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the wrong row. So then I had to rip it out again. And then I was just like, I'm gonna take a time out because clearly this is not working.
Yeah.
Not
today.
It is fixed. It's back.
There you go. Good for you.
It's back. It's
Unlike
all back
me,
together.
where there's some things that are hovering in the corner of the room where I'm like, when I'm going to go dig them out in a year, I'll be like, I don't really remember what the problem here was.
Yeah. And I will confess, I had a moment where I was like, could I live with this mistake? And then I was like, no, you cannot. Like, this is bad. Like, non-knitters will see this. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, the cable was, like, the yarn was going the wrong direction. And, like,
I definitely have
very clearly
some Sharon snacks on my shawl that I was working on. Because I did put some time in on that shawl. And I'll talk about it when we get
I'll show, like, you have already seen the section, and it would be very obvious if there was a mistake. Like, so it had to get ripped down. When there's cable panels, it's very easy just to pull that, to leave it on the needles.
Except for finding the right starting point,
Pull that section down, and then the challenge sometimes is figuring out which row you're on, but you should be able to count the strands that you're on to get you back down to where you are, and then you just deal with that section going back up.
And if anyone needs some humorous and accurate assistance, I would highly recommend the Yarn Harlot. She has a blog post that I go back to every now and then because it's very much like, sit yourself down, pour yourself a glass of wine, just be in a quiet spot, and you can do this. And, in her inimitable fashion, it's quite humorous. And, the first time I did it, I was like, I don't know.
There's no way this is going to work. Right? You don't have to rip out the entire row. Right. That's the long and the short of it.
And you don't have to rip back 5. You don't have to rip out like your whole entire thing for.
No, you just have to do that section. You just pull the stitches for that stitches. Yeah. So. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, we should probably get this started.
Yes, we probably should.
Okay.